Hey guys, Archangel Manga here, and I'm here today with my thoughts and review on High School of the Dead. Now, this is the full colour omnibus edition, which collects volumes 1 to 4. So, really and truly, I guess you could say it's my first impressions of the first 4 volumes because I'm not up to date with High School of the Dead. I'm going to wait till the second full colour edition comes out. But yeah. Now, we live in a culture where zombies and zombie apocalypses and things like that, they've really been done to death in different forms of media, whether it's in TV series, comics, books, games. Zombies are it really is a tiring genre to undertake. So seeing it in manga format and a mangaka, Japanese comic artist, taking the whole zombie apocalypse genre and making their own spin on it, it was interesting. To be honest, this is the kind of thing that I would have never ever read, but for the fact that it was released in a hardcover and it was full colour, I couldn't resist. I just had to check out for myself and see what it was like, because I'd heard from people around and about, in the community, that it's one of them things that you kind of have to just switch your brain off and just enjoy it for what it is. It doesn't try to be something that it's not, and I definitely could see that with High School of the Dead. So, what is High School of the Dead? Pretty much everybody has either seen the anime to this or read the manga. Basically, in a nutshell, it's a bunch of high school students trying to survive during the outbreak of a mysterious infection that, turns everybody into zombies, kills them, and brings them back to life. It's a tired story that's been retold countless numbers of times, but there's not really much to talk about because there really isn't that much depth to the story at all. There's no depth to the characters. It's just a fun ride. We have Rei Miyamoto, who's the heroine of the series. Seiko Bushijima, who's like the cool, tough chick samurai. Who's she's Rei's like the damsel in distress. Numerous times. Let's see other characters. That's one thing about this as well. The colour pages are genuinely really beautiful. The presentation of this overall is really good. The only thing that you can really notice with this is the fact that the colouring, obviously the art was done by the mangaka Shuji Sato, while the story was done by Daisuke Sato. But the colouring wasn't done by Shuji Sato. The colouring was done by an American comic artist, I believe. So you can really see how that shows through. The colouring doesn't necessarily look very authentic. Like if you can tell that colouring in manga has that element of authenticity when you see it's coloured in like Copic markers or something like that. But all of this has been rendered digitally, so you can really see there's quite a lot of places in the manga where you can see it looks almost photoshopped colouring. It's like really not amateurish. I mean, it's done very professionally, but it doesn't really have that real touch, that real tangible touch to it. You can tell it's been rendered digitally, and it's not something that threw me off, but you could tell it was done by a completely different artist. But yeah, I enjoyed it really. You have the main protagonist, and like I could guess you could say the narrative comes from the main guy, who his name is the only one I forget because he's such a bland guy. Takashi Komuro, that's his name, and he is basically like the leader, I guess, of a band of high schoolers who are trying to escape from this school after an infection's broken out, and they basically get out of the school and they're just trying to find all the family members, seeing if everybody's okay and that. You have Saya Takagi, the pink-haired one, who's like the brains of the group. She's annoying, to say the least. You have Kuta Hirano, who's like the gun nut. Everybody goes to him for anything to do with like, you know, strategy or, you know, the thing is that they're fighting these zombies at first with like bats and crowbars, but when they like come across guns, like nobody knows how to shoot anything, you know, other than Kuta Hirano. So as they're actually getting attacked by zombies, have to like learn, which is kind of silly, but funny at the same time. And then you have like the bubble-brained nurse, Shizuka Sensei, with the massive tits. Yeah, she's like the doctor, the nurse. If anybody gets hurt, you know, she treats them. Probably my favourite character of the series has to be Seiko Bushijima, because, you know, I'm a big fan of samurai, and, you know, her action scenes are really cool, you know, very well choreographed, even though they're very, very, very far-fetched. But yeah, she seems like the coolest one. That's Takashi Komuro. Well, let me just get him in shot. Takashi Komuro right there in the middle. Really boring guy, not much depth to him at all. But, you know, I don't expect character development from a series like this. You know, it's kind of my first venture into, I guess you could call it ecchi, you know. But one thing I thought I was surprised with is that it doesn't actually have that much fan service in it. It's not like every page has like, you know, big titted girls and, you know, arse everywhere. I guess it's subtle. Well, no, it's not subtle, because when the fan service does come, it comes in big doses. But it's in the whole thing, it's subdued. You know, there's just not as much of it, which, you know, I was kind of happy about, because, you know, if not that as much to the story anyway, but, you know, if it were just riddled with fan service on every single page, then it would just, you know, I'd just lose focus and get bored. But yeah, I enjoy zombie stuff. In fact, I've got you know, I've got the Walking Dead. Now this is a really, really good zombie story. Don't watch the TV series. The TV series is terrible, I think. So after reading this, you know, I can't really compare this to The Walking Dead. It just is what it is. Now, aesthetically, this book is a very, very nice book. Yen Press have done a really, really good job with the presentation of this. You know, not only do you have the really nice glossy finish and, you know, the really nice artwork from Mr. Sato on the front and back on the side, but you also get a really nice, really, really nice dust jacket, which has this like embossed like handprint. Like you've got it's kind of like a matte finish on here, but then like the handprint itself has like a gloss finish, and you can actually feel it's like rubbery, like, you know, somebody's actually just got like the bloody hand and like splat it on the front and the back. And I think that's a really cool effect. And on the inside as well, you get this really cool exclusive poster of Saya and Rei, you know, completely naked with, you know, blood in very suggestive areas. But, you know, nonetheless, it's a really cool poster. I probably won't use it because, you know, I like to kind of keep my books intact. You know, it's a dust jacket after all, so I'll just leave it on. But yeah, not only is the book itself really nice, but you get a ton of like extras, loads of really beautiful like full-page colour spreads. If you know, like promotional artwork and stuff. Let's just find a few examples, because you get like character profiles, gun and like weapon profiles, and like a few other cool things. You know, author commentaries. I'm just trying to find something real quick, because I did genuinely really enjoy it, and it was, you know, a relatively quick read. You know, taking into account that it's like, you know, I think it's like over 700 pages. I thought it was going to take me all week. But, you know, it's not really dialogue heavy. You know, the panels, that's one thing I have to really praise the artist for, is the panel arrangement. It's not just standard like square paneling. You know, you've got some really cool dynamic shots. Like this, for example, like, you know, you got, you know, panels like crossing into each other, like, you know, Hirano's gun there is crossing into the, you know, the panel. I love how they've kept the sound effects intact. I love the use of sound effects in this generally, and they've actually been rendered in color very well. Some of the sound effects can almost take up the entire page, but they don't, really get in the way. Like, look at this. I mean, this is just beautiful. I think, the speed injectors, zooming past me. You got that like cool, angled dynamic panel right there. It really works well for the series because it is a very high octane series, and I do recommend anybody to read it. I will be checking out the manga after this. Not the manga, the anime. You can get relatively cheap on Blu-ray and Amazon. Like here with the sound effects, you've just got like running down the page, and it's just been rendered really cool. The artists have done a really good job on it. So the arrangement and the composition of the actual art itself is fantastic. If anything I could fault is sometimes like the line work can feel a little bit shoddy, like a little bit sketchy, like if he's using like G pens or something like that, then the artist hasn't really focused on like the line thickness in some places. But that's just one of my personal gripes. Nothing that can really throw you off. So yeah, artistically this is excellent. Compositionally excellent. Story wise, average. Character wise, essentially. But that's not something that really works against it because everybody knows High School of the Dead is what it is. You're not gonna go in with high expectations. I didn't have very high expectations, but it hit the mark, and I enjoyed it, and I will be picking up volume 2. So yeah, that's essentially it. I've got my pros and cons. So yeah, stay tuned for another review. So yeah, Archangel Manga signing out.